Hello everybody, it is Cece here. Just a reminder to share this podcast with your friends as we do greatly appreciate it. All the necessary links are down in the description below. If you enjoy the show and would like to join us on this quest, give it a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy this episode of Seltzerquest.
Let's jump into it. Hello and welcome to Seltzerquest episode 14, recorded on January 30th, 2021. This is the non-alcoholic episode and the first episode where we're doing all remote recording. None of us are in the same room. It bears mentioning this is a non-alcoholic episode, so we're deviating a bit from standard operating procedure. Only 2 of the things we're trying tonight are technically seltzers. The other 3 are mocktails, I guess, bottled mocktails, which is basically just a soda for adults, but it's what we got. So, let's go around and introduce ourselves. In chair 1, I am Noah. In chair 2, again from the surface of the sun, we have...
Cece, it's still hot up here.
And in chair 3, replacing Derek this week from nearer to Earth... Teeny, that's your cue. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Teeny. Hello.
All right, good stuff. We don't have a guest this week, unless you count Teeny, who's replacing Derek in chair 3. So that's new for the past half dozen episodes. And let's jump right into it. The first thing we're trying, and there's a reason we're trying this first, but before I get into that, the first thing we're trying this week is Lull CBD Seltzer from Indeed Brewing, out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is totally void of any nutritional content. There are no carbohydrates, no alcohol, obviously, and not even any calories. But it does contain 10 milligrams of cannabidiol, made with full-spectrum hemp oil. It contains natural and artificial flavors, which I think is kind of a cheat, but hey, I have to allow it. And this is available in Minnesota, North Dakota, and Wisconsin in 12-ounce standard-sized cans. Now, the reason we're doing this first is because I want us to all, drink the whole thing so that by the end of the episode we can determine if we've actually felt anything from it. This is the only one with a psychoactive component. So, let's dive into it.
Well, in my personal experience with CBD, I have taken droppers where it's 2,000 milligrams per dropper, and I've taken those on a regular basis over the course of 2 months. And it doesn't do as much as you would want it to do. So don't get your hopes up. You're not going to see dragons.
Oh, don't worry. Honestly, I'm just hoping this will relax me a little bit.
I hope it does, honestly.
Let's see. It looks in the glass like one of those cream soda dum-dums, that sort of whitish, greenish color. Lots of head that is sticking around, and it smells fantastic. It smells like lemon balm.
I agree. I totally forgot that that's a thing that we do is we pour into a cup, so I just started drinking out of the can once again.
I do not have a cup.
That's fine.
I usually just drink out of a shot glass.
I honestly almost went... I almost decided not to do the cup this time because unlike on a seltzer episode where I don't really want to drink more after I've tasted them, I probably will finish everything I've got here. But I went with the cup anyway, just so I can describe the smell and the look of it.
It makes sense.
My opinions on the can is that it is very, very boring. In my experience with CBD seltzers, there is typically a lot of color, and I don't know, this just looks like a generic grocery store soda.
Yeah, the can is very non-threatening, though, I think, and that might be strategic, because while co-ops have been carrying CBD seltzers for a while, this is the first one that I've found to be available at, your run-of-the-mill liquor stores. This is the first one that a lot of people are going to be interacting with, and I think they wanted it to be non-threatening.
I don't know, because a lot of places really like to throw in a very artistic aspect to it, where this just feels boring. Do a lot of these sell?
It hasn't been selling like hotcakes. It's mostly been selling as a curiosity. And incidentally, because the boss lets us drink these on the job, a lot of the liquor store employees have been buying them. like as a drink for their breaks.
Are you telling me that they don't let you drink IPAs on the job?
They let us sample them, but if we have any more than 2 ounces, it's considered drinking on the job, and we can get fired for that.
Oh my god, what's the point of working at a liquor store?
Well,
I drink on the job.
Have you seen the interior?
Same, bro.
Oh god, yeah, I miss working in a cafe. The free coffee is such a perk. I love caffeine. It does just so many nice things for me. Anyway, the point of working at a liquor store is A, I'm very passionate about being able to afford food for my cats, and B, you haven't seen the inside of my fridge. Good God, I am stocked up with beer.
That's
Mostly
why you
free
have
beer.
But that's because I don't have anyone to share these full cases with.
Speaking of sharing full cases and how you can't find anyone to drink your seltzer with you, this actually tastes quite good. I rather enjoy this.
Yeah.
It's a
I
little.
like this one.
It's a little herbal. The citrus comes through very nicely. It's kind of
It
light.
tastes like all the good parts of a Sprite. And I know you don't like Sprite, but I don't really like Sprite either, but these are all the good parts of a Sprite.
Well, no, you're right. It does taste like the good parts of a Sprite. It tastes like an adult Sprite, like a grown-up Sprite.
One thing that they do really, really well is they do make it taste very creamy. I do get a lot of the cream. I was kind of expecting it to be more like a lemon lime, like a Sprite, but upon the first sip, it was very much so like this creamy, graham crackery key lime pie. It's
Yeah,
really
there's
true to its
definitely an
flavor.
element of that. I'm tasting what you're tasting there. If this were like, we've had discussions on this podcast before. Notably, Derek has gone on a couple of slam poems about how lime seems to be the most difficult fucking flavor for hard seltzers to get right. I think of all the hard seltzers we've tried, the only one that's gotten lime right is White Claw of all things. This gets lime right. Why do hard seltzers not taste like this?
What if we just threw some, like, vodka in this or something?
I was literally going to say, yeah, maybe lime kind of gets lost in the taste of the alcohol.
Well, I'm going to go put a shot of Luke Susave in this. I'll be right back.
Well, okay, hold on. I'm also going to get my raspberry vodka just because I'm curious.
So I poured about half an ounce of vodka in this can of seltzer, right? Which is a little bit weaker than your average hard seltzer, but not by much. It should bring it down to about 3 or 4%. And I don't taste the vodka in this. Like, honestly, this is a great paragon of lime flavor in a seltzer. It masks the alcohol. Come on, guys, get it together.
Okay, wait. I have my very tiny raspberry shot in this. So hold on. Yeah, it didn't do anything.
You just
I
have
thought it would, like, make it
raspberry,
immediately
right?
taste rancid.
No, it's raspberry.
Yeah, so this is it's pretty good.
You know what? I didn't have high expectations going into this for this can, and I am genuinely impressed. I have had a lot of CBD seltzer, and this is very much so one of the most flavorful ones I've had.
You know, okay, so speaking of this is a tangent, and I don't know if I'm going to leave it in, but speaking of putting hemp products in things, when I was in Prague about 2 years ago at this point, there are quote-unquote dispensaries all over the damn place with signs that say, like, marijuana, legal in the Czech Republic, things like that. Here's the thing. I don't know if this has changed, but definitely when I was there, marijuana was not legal in the Czech Republic. I looked this up. Most of those stores are, all of those stores are tourist traps, but almost everything they sell legitimately does contain hemp, but they use industrial hemp, so it doesn't have any of the psychoactive components.
That's cheating.
It is cheating, and they get away with it, too. My sister even bought a marijuana sucker. They call all hemp marijuana there. She bought a marijuana lollipop thinking it would get her high. It did not.
No. They do have all kinds of shit like that in the Colorado dispensaries, though. I am excited to try those things. I'll bring y'all some Weed water.
Yeah, I would try that on the podcast, honestly. For all the listeners, I have never been high on reefer before, but I'm willing to do it for you, because that's content.
Recess.
I have little to no interest in drugs.
That's fair.
Derek really loves drugs, so...
Is he in Colorado?
He is in Colorado right now. All right, with that excellent segue, let's move on to the next thing we're trying tonight. Let's get this out of the way because I'm sure Cece is not going to enjoy it. This is the Hoppy Refresher from Lagunitas Brewing Company in Petaluma, California, and Chicago, Illinois. This, like the CBD seltzer, is totally void of any nutritional content. There are no carbs, no alcohol, no calories. There is, for some reason, a small amount of potassium. I'll take it, sure. This is made with a blend of citrus, centennial, and equinox hops and brewer's yeast. It does contain natural flavors, and this is available nationwide. And I do mean, this is available everywhere in 12-ounce bottles.
Yeah, I was able to get it.
Literally, I have not seen a liquor store yet, since this is released, that doesn't carry it.
It smells like a nice hoppy IPA.
Yeah, I hate it.
IPAs are one of my favorite things. It's definitely the drink I miss the most.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you. And it's nice to have you on the podcast, actually, because usually I'm the only one who enjoys hops here.
No, this is...
Oh.
It's my everything. Anyways.
It smells like a wonderful light IPA. It tastes like a wonderful light IPA. It's a little fruity. I imagine that's either the natural flavors or the brewer's yeast giving it sort of a kombucha-like, what's the word I'm looking for? A kombucha-like presence. The hops are obviously very present. Yeah, I love this, and I buy this quite frequently now that I've actually had it.
Wow. This is fantastic. I tend to like a slightly richer, more full-bodied IPA, and this is very much so on the watery light side. It's kind of like if you were to, I don't know, combine the concept of like a hearty IPA with tea. That's kind of what you get here.
Oh, for sure. This is definitely closer to a hop tea or like a light IPA. But honestly, I like light IPAs for the most part.
I like super, super, super hoppy stuff. However, this is still fantastic. It is very light. It's a lot lighter than what I would go for a light IPA anyway. I wish that they would do something a little heavier.
Well, I think part of the issue with trying to make it heavier is in a double or triple IPA, like the hop sludge that you like, the reason it's able to extract all that hop flavor, the reason it's able to get so heavy and so sludgy, is because the alcohol content really helps with that. Alcohol dissolves a lot more components than water does. In general, water dissolves more things than ethanol can, but with hops in particular, ethanol can dissolve the hop resin, whereas water mostly can't. You get some of that, but that's the reason you get just the vegetal quality of the hops in there, maybe a little bit of the fruitiness, like you'd get from a lower ABV IPA, which would extract less of that. But for a double, for a triple, for a quadruple, God forbid, you're getting a lot more of that lupulin resin in your IPA, and that is where the difference in flavor comes from. It's where the oiliness comes from. It's where all the sludge comes from. All right, let's move along to the next thing.
Wait.
Yeah?
Can we just, let me read off the government warning on the side of this bottle. It is located to the left of the Lagunitas logo. You read along with me? According to the Surgeon General, this beverage is A-OK for operating light, medium, and heavy machinery, potable for pregos, and completely safe for driving, flying, or teleportation. It's pretty much good wherever, whenever, maybe even on the moon.
Well, shit. I know I'd drink this on the moon. That'd be a fantastic day, actually. Going to the moon, drinking some Hoppy refresher.
Bring along your weed water as well.
You're goddamn right. I mean, what's the point of being on the moon if you can't get high?
Exactly. Ha!
All
Dumb
right.
motherfucker. Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah, let's move on to the next thing we got here. And the next three things we've got are all from the Casamara Club out of all places, Detroit, Michigan. So the first one we're trying is Capo. And this, all of
Capo
these...
or Capo?
Probably, you know, it might be Capo, because a Capo, I think, is a mafia thing. So these are all 15 calories. They all have 4 grams of carbs, all from sugar. Capo, in Capo or Capo, that sugar is from honey.
It smells like my dishwasher detergent.
So all of these are, none of these have any, they don't list natural or artificial flavors. They all list all the extracts that are in there. So this is lemon, orange, orange blossom honey, Italian mandarin, chamomile, peppermint, licorice, grapefruit, juniper, clove, and cardamom, and some sea salt. On their website, this is supposed to be their take on like a breakfast spritz. It smells interesting.
It definitely tastes a little bit like potpourri.
Yeah, I think the floral component is a little bit too heavy in this.
No, it's the spices, like the cardamom and the clove. You really do get very like forward clove, cardamom, like those warm spices.
Yeah,
It is very much like, I don't know, it wants to be a mulled cider or something, but
normally I would really like those spices, but of all things, the chamomile is coming through way too prominently for me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's way too much. I don't like peppermint, licorice, grapefruits, or cloves.
There's no grapefruit in this. Oh yeah, there is.
Yeah,
Never
there's
mind.
No,
Sorry.
grapefruit peel. And I think the chamomile is really just saving me from being upset.
very relaxing beverage.
Yeah, I don't particularly like it.
I don't like it either.
But I guess it achieves what it's going for. Alright, let's move on to the next one we've got here is Sera. And this one, sorry?
They're considerate to make these twist-offs.
These are twist-offs. I'm using a bottle opener to pry them open anyway.
Yeah, my hands are too, damaged from work. I feel like if I try to twist it off, it'll just slice my hands open.
Yeah, like Capo, Sera is sweetened with honey. And this
This
contains...
is not good.
leaf.
This is not good.
And this has extract of grapefruit.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Can I finish reading the tasting notes?
Please.
Chaos is
This is flavored with extracts of grapefruit, cinnamon, rhubarb, chinotto, allspice, and anise. So that immediately just says to me it's going to taste like Aperol, which I like Aperol. Let's hope that's accurate. Teeny has already decided she doesn't like it. Ooh, it smells earthy.
Yeah, it is. It's not.
It smells like I just, took a real fresh leaf off of a tree and shoved it in my nostrils.
It tastes like, tree. It makes me think of, when you get sap on your hand and does this taste like maple syrup? And you take a nice look at it and it's just like, nope, that's just bitter and sad. Just like me.
I was trying to figure out where this flavor is coming from, right? Because there's nothing in here that says that should taste like dirt. But here's where they get you. It's not an extract of rhubarb. That would make sense. It's extract of rhubarb root.
Well, rhubarb is a root.
You eat the stem. You don't eat the root of the rhubarb.
I don't know. What's chinotto?
Chinotto is it's like a Mediterranean orange. It's basically just an orange. It's sort of close to bergamot. It's going to have a little bit more of an herbal flavor than an orange would, but basically it's an orange.
Yeah, because I get like a tangy, citrusy aspect or flavor notes in this, and
So they actually have tasting notes for these on their website. The Capo, the tasting notes were orange, mint, and honey, which I guess came through. The tasting notes for this one, the Sera, is lavender, strawberry candy, and fruity acidity. I get 0 out of those 3.
out of from someone who lives, breathes, eats, consumes, bathes in lavender, they really missed the dial on that one.
Yeah, I don't hate it as much as Capo, but boy, this could have been a lot better for what's in here.
This one makes me genuinely enjoy the Capo one.
All right, 0 for 2 so far, Casamara. Let's move on to number 3 here. This is Alta, also from Casamara Club. The sugar in this one is Demerara, and this is flavored with lemon juice, Demerara cane sugar, extract of chinoto, juniper berry, orris root, mandarin peel, allspice berry, clove bud, and aniseed. All of that sort of makes me think of gin, like a really citrusy gin. So let's see how this goes.
This one's probably not going to be too far from the Sera one. A lot of the ingredients were similar, and it's probably going to be like a combination of the two, huh?
The tasting notes on the website say pink citrus, fresh fruit, and spice. And, oh no. I'm just smelling it, and it smells like Campari. And I hate Campari.
This is actually pleasant.
Okay. I tasted it, and I just want to know if you guys feel the same thing that I'm feeling. It's like a film on the inside of my mouth.
If I look for it, I guess I can find it. It didn't occur to me.
When I breathe in, it feels like the roof of my mouth is like, it's like when you're chewing gum and you breathe in and it gets kind of cold.
I don't know what sensation you're referring to.
Chewing mint gum and then...
Oh, mint gum. Gotcha. So you're saying that...
I can see it. No, like an old-timey film, kind of like probably back in... Kind of like...
No.
Oh.
No.
Well,
So-
what I experienced, after you said film, I was thinking like sitting in a basement watching some old VHS in your grandma's house. You know
No,
what I'm
homie. I meant like film as in like a layer of something.
saying?
So,
I thought we were going like philosophical with this one.
Cece, are you saying...
How it feels to chew 5 gum.
You know, kinda.
I can't unsee basement TV with that
Okay, well, you put that thought in your head yourself. I literally...
one. You aided.
Oh, God.
Okay, no. Anyways, whatever, it's fine. I don't like it.
This is... Oh, you know what? I smelled Campari, and now I can't get it out of my head. This is terrible. I hate it. I want it to go to hell. It's really... This is bad. Casamara Club, 0 for 3.
There's someone out there that would like these.
Oh, there's definitely someone out there that would like these. I'm probably in the minority not liking Campari, but I really hate Campari.
Here's where they go wrong, right? They don't say sparkling water. They say sparkling Amaro soft drink. And soft drinks are known for being like sodas. And so it's very misleading. It doesn't actually give you like... Oh, it does give you sugar content.
Well, I mean, it says Amaro, right? And when I think Amaro, I do think bitter liqueur, but none of these are really hitting any of the Amaro beats, except for Alta, which hits the wrong Amaro beats. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just like kind of disappointed. I don't know, man.
We should have ended on the Lull CBD seltzer.
We really should have. That was definitely the high point of the episode.
But we wouldn't have been able to like comment on its potential effects.
So
Did you
actually,
guys finish your cans?
Yeah.
speaking of commentary, want to do ratings?
Sure, bud.
All right, so the first thing we tried on this episode was Lull CBD Seltzer by Indeed Brewing Company. And Teeny, do you know how our rating system works?
No.
Okay, so basically we have a 5-tiered system, sometimes 6. But basically we have buy, which is our highest rating. It means what it says, right? Go out of your way to buy this. There's try, which is if you see it, like, you don't go out of your way, but like if you come across it, yeah, go ahead and try it. There's sigh, which is very literal. You know, you can see a use case for this. Someone might like it, but you really can't recommend it yourself. There's cry, which is this assaulted me. This hurt me. I didn't like it. And then there's die, which is another half step down, which is this product shouldn't exist. This should just go die. This needs to be off the market right now. Someone's going to get hurt. And then there's a 6th, sometimes why, which is I don't hate it, but I also don't understand who decided this should be a thing.
And that's the bottom one?
That is sort of a side grade from cry, I would say. It's like...
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What's the top 2 again? The first 2, I mean?
The top 2 are buy, go out and buy it right now, and try.
Yep.
Don't go out of your way, but if you see it, buy it. All right. So let's go around here. I'll just go first. So the first thing we tried on the episode tonight was Lull CBD Seltzer. And as much as I like it, the price point on this kind of makes me just want to give it a try. You know, I don't know that I would go out of my way to buy this again, but because I work at a place that sells it, I probably will buy this again. It's very good, but there's no alcohol, and the CBD, well, I'm not noticing any effect from it, and I undoubtedly have the lowest tolerance here. So, it gets a try from me. Cece, how do you feel?
I think it's a try too, just because I do like its texture and I like its flavor, and it seems like a pretty cool idea, I guess, but it doesn't really, I don't really know. I mean, I know I came into this feeling like real grim anyways.
It's understandable, you just had a
I came in real chill, and then now I'm just like, still just kind of chill.
Alright, Teeny, how do you feel?
You know, I agree. I think it's more of a try. It's not the best CBD seltzer out there. It's one of the top, though. The flavors are really good. If you are into CBD seltzer, this can is about the average price for what you would get per can. And if you are someone who is interested in trying CBD to see if it helps you relax or decrease anxiety, aches and pains, regularly drinking CBD, you'll see more effects with it rather than just kind of a one-off can. And so I would recommend, if you are interested in something like this, go out, buy a whole case of CBD seltzer, or maybe drink one every night before bed and see if it's your thing. And if not, then it's probably not going to be worth the money, no.
And that is some, that is dedication to an experiment. I still might try it because I do get this at a discount, but, wow. All right, let's move on. So, second thing we tried on the episode, and what I'm still drinking right now, is Lagunitas Hoppy Refresher out of Lagunitas Brewing. I guess I've sort of tilted my hand here. This is easily the best thing that I've had tonight. This is an absolute buy, and this is something that I will be buying more of. Cece, how do you feel?
I personally would never drink it again. But it is not the worst hop thing that I've had. And that means something. So I'm not going to be like a fucking Derek right now and be like, no, bye. I mean, no, die, get away. Because it's not that bad. It's just, I really don't like hops.
So is it a sigh then?
It's a try.
All right.
It's a try.
And Teeny, how do you feel?
Well, for context, I am someone who used to drink a lot of IPAs. It was my go-to. And I no longer drink alcohol anymore. And the thing I miss the most is that really warm, comforting feeling of drinking a nice IPA at the end of a long, hard day. This is something that could easily replace that satisfaction for me and others like me. I would say buy, for sure.
All right. Lagunitas, incidentally, please sponsor us. All right. Moving right along. The third thing we tried was Capo from Casamara Club. Amaro Sodas out of Detroit. Boy, I had such high hopes for these because I love me an Amaro. And I love me an Amaro Spritz especially. I don't think any of these hit, to be honest. I don't think this was the worst one. But I still can't give it anything higher than a sigh. Cece, how do you feel?
I also think it's a sigh. I don't know what I was expecting. Honestly, I didn't even know we had 3 flavors. That's where I'm at right now. So, but it's a sigh just because even right off the bat, I didn't like even the smell of it, and it didn't go any better from there.
All right. Teeny, how do you feel?
I feel like if you know what you're going into with these, know that there is not a lot of sweetness to it, know that it is very much like a very floral, potpourri kind of thing. Maybe it's your thing. I personally would do a sigh, because it's not the worst thing I've ever had. I think it was the Capo one. Oh, it was kind of pleasant. I might continue sipping on that for the rest of my evening, but the other two were just too much like a little bowl of incense in my grandmother's bathroom, and I would not recommend that flavor profile to anyone. No.
So what's the rating?
I said a sigh, sorry. I rate this one a sigh.
Gotcha. All right. Second thing we had was Sera. And for my money, this is the best one of the 3. It's still not especially good, but I think this gets to a low try territory because this is a good jumping off point. I think I can put a shot of gin in this one and enjoy it. So high sigh, low try, I guess. Cece, how do you feel?
I can agree. I mean, when I first tried it, I was like real bummed out too because it was just bad at first. But like now that I have like a whole plethora of beverages in front of me to compare it to, it's probably one of the better ones out of the group that we had. And yeah, I think the same thing where it's just like using it as a starting off and just like mixing it with something that maybe might make it better. So it's a try.
Oh, there we go. We got Taiki on the recording there.
Nice. Well, I'm trying to speak. Bitch.
Yeah, Taiki, it's pretty rude.
Bitch spelled with a BYTH or whatever it was.
BYTCHE?
Yes.
It's baish.
Yeah. Beach. Beach.
All right, and the last thing. Oh, Teeny, you didn't get your word on the Syrah there.
Syrah was my least favorite of this trio. I would do this one a very low sigh. It is soapy. It is grimy. I did not enjoy this.
All right, and the last one we had this evening was Alta from Casamara Club, and I have complex feelings about this one. On the one hand, it is the only one of the 3 that screams Amaro soda to me, or that screams Amaro in any way. Unfortunately, the Amaro that it's screaming at me is Campari, which is one of not many that I really truly dislike. So personally, I hate this. I have to dump it down the drain because it makes me sad. I think it should die. However, because it gets the closest to an Amaro soda, I have to give it a try just sort of on principle, because it's the only one that really gets where it was going, and I don't like it, but I know a lot of people who do like Campari, and I would certainly recommend it to those people if they didn't want to drink. So I'm going to give it a superposition of a try in general, but a die for me specifically. Cece, how do you feel?
Well, given that I'm the only person who had felt the sensations that it brought to me, I don't like it at all. I hate it, actually. It's a diet, too. And I don't really suggest it to anyone because maybe they'll feel it, too.
Good stuff. Teeny, how do you feel?
I'm gonna go with Psy on this one. I don't want to rate it lower than the Sera. The Sera one, I can't stand that one. And it's something like I could sip on it. It's very, very orange peely. It kind of reminds me of like an old fashioned, but it lacks the punch. All of these lack punch. It's just all these interesting flavors with no power behind them. So,
It is.
yeah, it's a sigh from me, dog.
You actually bring up a really good point. Non-alcoholic beverages in general, they lack a punch, which, I mean, obviously they're going to lack that punch. But I think there is a pile of money out there for whoever determines the best way to replicate that punch. Because I don't know that I've had anything that does it quite yet.
Yeah, I had the Hairless Dog Brewing Company things upstairs, the coffee stout and their IPA. And I appreciate the efforts to try to create something for people to enjoy without, diving too deep into a dark place. And the coffee stout was pretty on par with other coffee stouts that I've had that were alcoholic, but the IPA tasted nothing like a regular IPA that I've ever had, and I've had a ton of options out there. I think hops are the hardest thing to really play around with to mimic that punch, because it's hoppy. You think hop and you think beer, right? That's why they always write 0 alcohol in these things. But hop doesn't make the punch like people want it to. It's lacking.
What I have seen done in a very small number of products, and I'm sure there's a reason it's a very small number of products, is they'll use glycerin to extract the same flavor components that alcohol would. So you get the same, you get the flavors out of like lipids that won't dissolve in water, for example, like lupulin oil and hops. I've never seen that in a shelf, in like a beverage you can buy off a shelf. I do know that Fay Brothers Bitters do that. So it's definitely possible. But like I'm saying, there's got to be a reason nobody does that. I think it might just be because it's kind of ghoulish to think that you're drinking a bottle of glycerin. Like, people have associations, that's soap. But I think it could work, maybe.
Just don't think too hard about the things they're putting in your body and you'll be just fine, am I right?
Yeah, that sounds like great advice. All right. You know what? Let's wrap it up here. We had a great time on this episode. No alcohol, and we actually had bottles for the first time, and it's our first time recording remotely. A lot of firsts.
I'm sorry. My dog is squeaking her toy in the background.
I can't hear it.
Don't worry about it. It's not coming
because
through on the
my audio is picking it up. So I'm sorry. Okay, continue.
We had a great time on this episode. A lot of firsts. Remember,
a lot of lasts.
Sorry? Oh yeah, a lot of lasts. Casamara Club can rot in hell. Anyway,
Damn.
have a good evening, listeners, and remember, don't drink Casamara Club.
Hey, it's me again. I hope you liked that episode. I'm just here to remind you again that all of our social media is down in the description. If you liked us and like what we do, why don't you prove it by subscribing, liking, commenting, following, and whatever else you can do to show your support. If you have suggestions for seltzers you want us to review, shoot me a DM on Instagram at Seltzerquest, just like how it is spelled here. As always, thank you so much for listening, and I will catch you on the flip side.